So I'm here removing a toilet. People are looking for high mount. So whenever I'm removing a toilet, I'll shut the water off. I'll drain the tank and remove the water from the bowl. I put a large garbage bag in front of it and just take my two hands. I'm just going to reach in roughly where the seat's mounted. Slide that like so. And bring it up around the base. And that'll prevent any wax from going anywhere. And that's step one when it comes to removing the toilet. Pretty simple process. There is a little water left in the bowl, but nothing major. We're all set. I'll carry it out just like so and move on to the next step. So I'm just about to put this toilet in place, and what I usually do, I'll take the bowl, turn it over, and I'll just take the wax seal, place it down on it, and just press it down a little bit just to hold it in place. And that's it. Now I'll take it, drop it over the T-bolts, and we'll be all set. Something that I do, I should have said earlier, when I'm cleaning up the floor flange, I'll take a plastic bag, put my hand in it, and I'll clean all the wax and everything off it. Check out the floor, make sure everything's alright. Then I'll come to this step. Anyway, we're off to placing the toilet in, and we'll drop the tank on it. So once I place the bowl over the T-bolts and pressed it down almost firmly, I'll check to make sure the measurement from these holes is the same going on each, going back to the wall. I know the bowl is square with the wall and facing straight out. You can eye it up, but that's something that I do just to guarantee it's coming out the wall fairly straight. Anyway, on to the next step. So I've taken the toilet and I pressed it down firmly onto the wax seal, and it's sitting pretty good on the floor. So the next step is to take our plastic washers, and these used to come in the bowls. Lately they've been coming in the toilet tank itself. You'll see them. And on it, it'll say this side up. So you have to be careful that that side is up, because it allows the cap, after you cut the T-bolts off, to go in place. What I've been doing lately, that's the size of the washer that comes with the T-bolt. So what I've been doing lately is just taking it and trimming it off like so, and it allows the cap to go on much easier. I'm just going to put the nut on there, and I'm going to snug it up from side to side evenly, and then we'll be onto the tank. Anyway, gotta get at it. So here we have our toilet tank. This is your basic tank to bowl kit, and many of them come with a gasket and 2 nuts, but in this one we have 4 nuts, and there's also 2 pads that the tank rests on, that you place on the bowl and the tank rests on to snug it down so that it doesn't move. So with this tank in particular, you slide these through, you tighten them down through the tank, snug them down, then you're going to place the tank onto the bowl after you've taken your bevel gasket. You see it's cone shaped like so. They're not all quite this big, but this brand of toilet has that big a gasket. And our next step now is to put our bolts through, snug them down, and I'll drop the tank onto the bowl, and we'll hook the water up and see how we get along. So we put our tank on our bowl, and when I put the tank on the bowl, I'll snug each side down a little bit at a time. You don't want to put tighten one side down, then pull it over and try and tighten the other, because you'll crack the tank. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to turn our water on just to check for any leaks here. That looks good down there. This tank the chain was actually taped to the standpipe, very common. And where they had it, the link hooked up on the chain, it worked out perfect. So there's just a little bit of play in your chain, that's all you want for your flapper. And we're going to let the water go here and see what happens. We'll speed up our fill to our tank, like so, since we're filming this. There's an adjustment screw, this is a Fluid Master fill valve. And there's adjustment here, you may have to turn it clockwise or counterclockwise depending on where the level of the water where the valve shuts off. There's a water line marked here, and that's where you want it to shut off for a proper flush. It's a 1.6 gallon tank. So we're a little bit high. So I'm just going to back that screw off counterclockwise a little. Pull the flapper up a little just to allow a little water to come in. There we go. And it's right on the money. I don't know if you can see that with the camera or not, but the water line's right on the mark. That's where you want it at. Just going to move the camera here, reinstall that. Reinstall this pipe, and this pipe refills the bowl after a flush goes down the standpipe. So let me give it a little flush and see what happens. And usually the first flush when you do that, it's going to be a little sluggish. But that wasn't too bad. But there was no water in the bowl at all. So once you've done that first flush, there's going to be water left in the bowl, and the water that goes down the refill tube is going to bring a seal up to where you want it. See where this stops on that tank itself. This is a high mount toilet made by Gerber, 1.6 gallon flush, or 6 liters, water conservation, and I think we're all set. Checking for the door, we'll see where this stops here. That's that water line that I always talk about. It's either in the tank or on the standpipe. So, and there we go, right on the money. Put the cover on the seat, and we're heading for the door. Have a great day.